So, Matt, welcome. Tell me, okay, give me the rundown. What's your experience with this game so far?
So far not much. I'm just starting it up. It's an arcade game, of course, but there was a PC release as well, so that's the one I'm playing here. What was it? It was built actually on the Dreamcast hardware, the Naomi board for the arcade, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So the
Uh,
weird thing about this game is that it is an arcade game, but it's controlled, of course, by a keyboard because it's typing after that. So here we
yeah.
go. I need to type in stuff. It will be highlighted on the monsters, and the word that's standing on a monster is like kind of, if there are five letters, you can fire five bullets by writing that word, and,
Yeah.
and and that's, I mean, it's just crazy, isn't it?
It's a great concept. Now, have you ever
Yeah.
played the original game, House of the Dead 2?
Oh yes, so much. Yes,
Yeah.
I loved
And
House of the Dead and House of the Dead 2 in the arcades back in the day, mate.
oh, I
I
love the
was I've
backpacks.
always a sucker for light gun games. Always.
Oh, me too. Look, I love the backpacks though. It's a Dreamcast with an ever-ready battery
Yes.
attached to it. Yeah, I know. Light gun games are amazing, and this is just such a great way of experiencing it with the keyboard.
Mm. While actually teaching people some typing, because you need to be fast here. You need to you learn to quickly read what's on the screen and then quickly type that as well.
Hmm.
And of course, I think this would actually be a little bit easier if I were even better at English, because sometimes I have to look at the words twice if they get because it gets kind of hectic, doesn't it? So, but gamble and boring, that's easy enough. I can spell that, but sometimes it gets kind of hectic, so you have to look twice and then you die. But
Yeah, and
so
this game,
Muji bar, for example, what is that?
Muji Bar. It's a
Yes,
bar that sells Mujis.
I
I have no
guess.
idea what a Muji is,
So I had to look a couple of times at that word. But look at this,
yeah,
it's just like the real game, but instead of shooting like a light gun, you're just typing on a keyboard. And
Mm,
the best, oh, and even exclamation marks are part of this as well. The
yeah,
best part comes later on, where you can see our protagonist running around, and he's actually carrying a keyboard. So wait out for that.
yeah.
I love that.
Well, I mean,
So one of the words I stopped at there, it was bow wow, because looking just quickly, my brain tries to make it fit some word that makes sense for me, and bow wow is just like a sound word. So
yeah.
that was hard.
Well, it's also fun to see that they changed the weapon, so they're actually attacking you with rubber mallets
Yep.
and
Yep.
kitchen utensils and plungers and stuff like that.
Outhouse. Here you go.
Idler.
And I actually noticed, because I cheated and I played 10 more minutes afterwards. That they it's not the same words. They switch out the words that they present you with. So sometimes you'll get harder words because they're just a bit harder to understand, and then the next time you play it, it'll be a tiny bit easier. And that was actually the F1 key, because I tried to press F and 1, that didn't work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Must have
that's
been.
awesome. I don't think I've ever witnessed that, or at least I didn't notice it.
No, no, no.
Yeah, and this was the one downside to this game. I don't believe that there is a foreign language version of it, or at least I haven't
Hmm.
seen one. But if you get the sequel, Typing of the Dead Overkill, it actually has multiple language libraries.
Okay.
So you can actually determine which language the words that pop up are in, which it gives it a much broader appeal.
This one was a bit of a cheat, eh? It said a handy toad hack instead of back.
Yeah.
That caught me off guard.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of that later on in the game. It gets
Yeah.
really, once you get into the higher levels. I've beaten the game,
Hmm.
but in the higher levels, it really just gets absurd. Sometimes what they throw in there, the connections are tenuous at best.
So I think I'm gonna expose my kids to this, because that it'd be good for them to learn some typing actually. So
Hmm.
mm.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I still have this and the sequel installed on my computer, and I use them regularly. I mean, this is a great thing for in between, and also just to keep your speed up.
Yeah.
The one thing it doesn't do is it doesn't really track spaces, I think, or does it track space?
No, I tried to. You can press space, but it doesn't really matter. So you don't need to.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing that they left out.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if that's a leftover from the Japanese version.
Hmm.
Not sure.
So you and I, we were looking at the pictures of the arcade cabinet just before. And the arcade cabinet actually has 2 keyboards attached to it. Looks crazy.
Yeah.
So you can play it in multiplayer mode in the arcade.
Yeah. And this version has LAN support. So,
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
can
that'd be
play
good
it
fun to try.
online or on a LAN.
So
But
seeing
yeah.
as this is a 2002 release, it might even be IP based. So we could still play it today.
Probably, yeah.
So look at the protagonist there running around with keyboards.
It's so great.
And a Dreamcast on a backpack, yes.
Yeah, with the battery. It's like a little, double A
Wonderful.
battery, but gigantic. It's
It doesn't really take itself too seriously, does it?
no, not at all. Not at all. It's really kind of sad that I can't find this one anywhere. GOG doesn't have it, and it still runs under
No,
Windows with no patches or anything. It's like,
Yeah, it did. I was looking at GOG as well, and I ended up finding a copy at archive.org, I think. So, yeah.
yeah, it's sad because there's a market for this product. I mean, there's just not enough games that take advantage of this mechanic.
It's good fun. That's true.
Yeah, and that awesome classic Sega voice acting, which is just terrible. Oh, you didn't save the driver.
No, I didn't.
Poor man.
I think I was about done playing at this point.
Okay, we're done. Oh, wow. It's been so long since I haven't saved the driver. I forgot completely that you go inside this building when you don't save him.
Okay.
When you save him, you keep going on the outside. So I haven't seen the inside of this in forever.
Oh, you need to fail more often, mate.
Okay, that's our recording.